Hi, I'm going to give you a choice of 2 questions. And
just pick one, Nadia, just pick one.
Okay, pick one. Okay, so the Travis Perkins building opposite the Thameslink. I know as well as you do that if there's a political will, there's a way. So I'd like to hear from each of the parties what your vision is for what that building could be. Because we know that if you want it to be something good for the community, we could make it that, or you could make it that. So I'd like to hear what your ideas are for West End Lane.
Okay, 156 West End Lane, aka Travis Perkins building. A lot of conferring going on here to be not in a manifesto. Who wants to go first? John.
Lane is laid to be demolished. Unfortunately, the shortlist for the preferred bidders ended up with somebody who didn't actually put a bid in that met the criteria for the bids in the first place. So there seems to be some wild difficulties within the council, let us say, about the way they've come to a final bidder. But really, that should be a public space. It should be a public service building. And certainly, given our earlier debate about school places, it appears to me that while the little road sign might be good for a primary school, 156 West End Lane could well be a good space for a secondary. And it seems to me that certainly a public function should be based on that road, close to all the public transport links and so forth. And it appears to me that while we're looking for a space for a secondary school, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to use 156 West End Lane.
One to the school, going to go down the line, Lorna.
Labour understands that there is a housing crisis, therefore we have decided to use the sale from the building to turn it into housing. I understand that it was actually reviewed and was deemed not suitable to be a secondary or primary school by the council. The money used from the sale of public land will be invested in the Community Investment Programme, which is a council-wide programme to invest across 57 schools in the borough, providing much support to education and also to help council tenants and council housing.
Okay, one school, one housing. Okay, jump over here.
I think first of all it's a shame that it's been left empty for the last 2.5 years, having security guards making sure it doesn't go to complete kind of rack and ruin. Going forward, we would have liked to have seen already it being used for apprenticeships, small workshops, pop-up shops, helping kind of local, either freelance residents or local business owners. Going forward, we would want to develop it so that it is at least half genuinely, objectively affordable housing, and the other half be used to foster local apprenticeships and again encourage local businesses and other pop-up shops.
Well, I'm just surprised that there's empty space and actually the council is not coming with 100 plans of what they could do with this space. Because I work for a university and you learn to do things without money. And having a space and not using it is like, why? And one of the things that the Green Party proposes, not just for that building, but for any space that we can use, would be to perhaps reverse the cuts. There are groups in the borough, disability groups, that have had their funding cut. So there's a space, and you cut the funding, and you are not actually inviting them to use the space. Why not? And then it could also be used for social housing, but not just that. There's a deficit of social enterprises in the area. There's also a deficit of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs and young entrepreneurs. So why not create workshops and entrepreneurship hubs that can actually promote a different type of business? Is that I can come up with like 200 ideas of what to do with the building. I just don't understand why the council is not doing anything.
Gentleman on my left hand has just stolen my thunder.
Green UKIP Alliance.
At the moment, we're looking at losing loads of business space at Liddell Road. We've got small businesses that could quite easily be moved into the Travis Perkins building. I'd like to see it mixed use, social housing, preferably some accessible housing, because we have loads of elderly and disabled people in the area that there's no disabled access. Going round the houses round here, going up 15, 20 steps to the front door, somebody who's got walking problems isn't going to manage that. So, yeah, social business, mixed use.